Okay, everybody, I know you have your exam this week, and that's what you're going to be focusing on the most, as well as getting through that reading quiz. But I wanted to introduce you or reintroduce you to the book report just to make sure that was still on your radar because it is going to be due next week. And there's a few things I wanted you to keep in mind as you're starting to work on your project. As a reminder, there's an assignment that I've linked you to for this week that has a list of books that you can pick from. And I've also added the 2019 film Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho, to the list of possible media that you can take a look at for your project. The goal of the paper is to identify 3 examples of how social psychology concepts or theories were illustrated in the material. So for example, you might see a really clear-cut example of a certain psychological principle at work. You might be going, oh, this is the stereotype content model illustrated in this particular piece of media. That's what I want you to do. So to identify 3 examples of social psychology concepts and theories provided in the text that you read. As part of that in your paper, you're going to be identifying the concepts in question and defining them, and then describing how the examples from the text you read or watched relate to the concepts in question. Keep in mind that I already know about these concepts in a lot of detail. I am much more interested in your description of how the examples from the text relate to the concepts in question, but I do want you to go ahead and make sure to define them at least briefly. This is not a plot summary and it's not a review. I've already read all of these books, so I know what they're about. You can provide a very brief 2-sentence summary of the basic plot of the text if you want to set up your paper in order to provide some context for the things that you'll be talking about and the characters that you'll be introducing. But an extensive summary is not necessary, and I would prefer that you don't. And it's also not a review. I don't necessarily want to hear about critiques of the novel itself or whether you enjoyed it. Although if you did enjoy it, you can certainly say. The bulk of your paper should be focused on identifying the concepts from social psychology theory that are found in your text. That's the purpose of the paper. That's what I want you to spend the bulk of your energy focused on. So just make sure that most of your paper is squarely focused on the task at hand instead of unnecessary side journeys. So the whole goal of this is to apply social psychology theories to the text, either the book or the film that you've consumed. It's important to remember that Amazon or libraries can deliver ebooks. So I'm on my library's ebook system, and I can request ebooks to be delivered to my computer or my Kindle. You can put a Kindle app on your laptop or on your phone to be able to read e-texts. And if you don't have your book yet, I would highly recommend that you get an e-text version sent to your laptop or one that you can read on your phone through a Kindle app instead of waiting for delivery. It's important to give yourself enough time to read the text or watch the film. Keep in mind that this is due at the end of the week next week. And one of the reasons why I'm reintroducing it to you this week is so that you can at least think about this project a little bit and not be caught flat-footed. It would be a good idea to take some notes as you go, as you encounter various examples of social psychology theories. So for example, you might go, oh, this particular part reminds me very, very strongly of stereotype threat, and here's why. Or is this an example of upward social comparison at work? Does this person see this particular individual as an attainable goal or an unattainable goal? And do they feel admiration or do they feel envy and resentment? Those are some of the things that you can kind of take notes of to keep in mind the social psychology theories that you're encountering as you read or watch the film. I'll be going into more detail about citation and APA style next week, including how to quote from the book or film appropriately, and just a general overview of citation and APA style that will be useful both for your book review project as well as for your final project.